It's kind of this idea of love doesn't mean giving up power and being passive, just as power doesn't mean denying love and being domineering.
For generations, women were shamed for trusting themselves, sensing things before they happen, and believing in their own power. No one encouraged them to embrace it until now. Welcome to Trust Yourself.
Hi, I'm Elise, but my sister calls me Sissy.
And I'm her sister, Heidi.
And we're your psychic sisters here to help you trust yourself and listen to your own intuition, no matter where you may be in your life. Okay, so fair warning. This episode might sting a little bit, ladies, for some of you, for my people pleasers.
It's okay. I think we can handle it.
So first, I want you to think about the kindest woman you know that doesn't ever step on people's toes, never asks for help, or does anything to push buttons or rock the boat. Do you have that stereotype in your mind?
Yeah.
Thinking? Okay, now think about the most powerful woman you know, who's just one of those like boss babes, not afraid to speak up when the waiter got your order mixed up.
Oh God. So mom.
Okay. Now, thinking about both of them, which one seems the most energetically drained to you?
That's a great question.
And it may seem like a trick question because
it does kind of seem like a trick question.
Some people equate power with hardworking and always busy and therefore super drained. But I'm going to ruffle some feathers a little bit and argue.
Let's ruffle.
I'm going to argue that the opposite is actually true.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I'm going to say the nice girls are exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true for sure.
So today's episode is all about why the nice girls feel fucking exhausted and powerful queens don't.
Let's do it. I want to be a queen. I'm a queen.
So many women are asking, why am I tired all the time? And
why did I just take a nap in the middle of the day?
Yep. And the answer could be a range of things, right? Kids, work, menopause, frickin' world we live in. Yeah. But I think for most of us, there is like this underlying problem, and it doesn't have to do with productivity. I think we're spending, and this is just my guess here, but I think we're spending too much time trying to love the way we've been taught, which, guess what, women? We were sold a lie about love.
Yeah.
What? No, say it isn't so. Surprise,
okay,
surprise.
Disney. We see you. Old Disney princesses, but now the Disney narrative is changing. Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly is the lie, you ask? The lie is that love and power do not go together. In fact, we are taught that in order to love, you need to relinquish all your power as a woman, that love drains your energy. In order to be a loving, kind woman, you must not make other people feel uncomfortable. You have to stay quiet and you have to be easy to be around. Essentially, like love is self-abandonment, right?
Of course. Obviously.
Of course.
Of course, I'll help you.
We were taught this even as little kids, if not from our own parents, definitely from societal conditioning. I fell for this trap and it sucked me dry for decades. I feel like I'm finally starting to speak up for myself, and it has felt a lot better over this last year. But I think that's why women feel like as they get older, like I can say whatever the hell I want and it feels good.
Yes, exactly. That's why they're like the 50s is the best decade of your life.
Excited for that. So Heidi, you've always had an easier time expressing your love without relinquishing power. I'm curious, how has that made you feel in certain situations? Maybe even compared to like when you see me or other friends not speaking up for ourselves.
Well, it's interesting you say that and feel that way because I feel differently too.
Oh, okay.
But also, I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. When it's like relationship love, I relinquished myself.
That's true.
A lot, especially younger. But in like standing up for myself, I think that was easier for me because I had always been seen as the person who would go against the grain, the person who would resist, push the boundaries. I was always the boundary pusher as a kid. So for that part, I feel like it was easy because it was, I don't know if it's just part of my makeup, but I still did fall victim to exactly what you're talking about when it came to like relationship love, for sure, because that is also very deeply ingrained in us. And now reclaiming that, sometimes it's really hard, and I can feel my throat chakra tightening as I say this. It is so hard to speak up for what you truly want and need and deserve. It really is hard to say. And so I want everybody to know, I want you to know right now that even when you see somebody that's super confident and looks like they're very powerful, they might still have an area in their life where it is so hard for them to speak up. So don't forget that.
Good point, because I remember looking up to you so much, even though I was the older kid. I am older, I guess.
And now you physically look up to me too.
I was older, and I always like thought, oh man, she just speaks freely, and I'm so almost jealous. Like I want to do that. But when I saw you with your boyfriends, especially one in particular, we will not name names.
I have a feeling it was around 2008-9 era.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, there it is.
And I was just shocked. I'm like, oh, wait, my sister wouldn't say this. Who the fuck are you? Heidi, what are you doing bowing down to this
you hated
dipshit?
me. Like,
sorry.
I'm pretty sure our relationship was at its worst at that point. So I was like, oh.
It was. We weren't, neither of us were really aligned with who we really, really wanted to be, who we really were. So... Okay, but back to this. Yes, women are very much taught that love is feminine, soft, mothering, and with that, quiet, accepting. And at the same time, we're taught that power is equivalent to being rude, greedy, bossy, bitchy. Unless you're a man, of course, then it's actually heroic, brave, and like sexy.
Right? It's so stupid. Double standards.
What the fuck?
God. It's great.
So I'm curious, do you have a story about when you were powerful, but people kind of confuse that power for being bitchy or greedy?
Ooh, I would love to hear other people's perspective on this about me, because I don't think, like, I was never called like bitchy really to my face
Not
or
to your
anything.
face.
Like,
right.
Exactly.
Except
so
for
I don't
me,
know.
Maybe.
Right. Yeah, but you're allowed. Okay. So I feel it probably showed up in like a group of friends when I was with a group, and I just saw myself as being a leader of like, okay, nobody's going to take the lead on anything. I'll make the plans. I'll do this. I'll do that. And I'm sure that could come off as bitchy, especially with women who don't speak up and they're not going to tell me if I've crossed a line. But my nature is also just to help everyone and want them to feel good. And, you know, I'm sure that's part of the like, the hostess in us. I know our family is really big on hosting and parties and making sure everybody's happy and having a good time. And who cares if you're not? Like, it's just as long as everybody else is having a good time.
Did you have seconds and thirds? I haven't had my main meal yet, but did you have thirds?
I nibbled on a carrot earlier. It's fine. Like, so I don't know. I wonder if they would have taken that as bossy.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I always love telling the story about when I was the lead architect on a multi-million-dollar project, and the first,
yeah, girl.
Just
First of all, give yourself a fucking
Boop.
pat on your back. I just give yourself a smackaroo there.
But the first day on the job, at the job trailer, with the contractors, we were all sitting around the table chit-chatting before the meeting started. And the contractor was really just being nice sitting next to me. And he was asking me about the color palette. And he's like, I really like these colors. And I really like this tile choice that you chose.
Oh my God, I already know where this is going.
And I'm like, I already started to realize like, oh, he thinks I'm the interior designer, which absolutely no shade to interior designers. I cannot pick colors to save my life, but it is typically a female-dominated industry. So I understand his assumption. But once the meeting started, he said, well, shouldn't we wait for the architect to show up? When is he going to be here? And it felt so damn good, so powerful to look at him in the eyes and say, I am here. And his face was like,
yes, girl.
Oh shit. And his attitude shifted a little bit after that. Maybe he was embarrassed. Maybe he thought I was rude, but it was just a little different. So
damn, I love it. Did he feel like more reserved, or was he more like...
He was a lot more quiet after that.
Yeah. So like, it didn't feel like more respect. It just felt more like detachment.
Yeah. It was just awkward. It was awkward for him because he's not used to that, which is also fair. But I will say, I think I feel more of the bitterness actually from women, unfortunately, because women really don't like powerful women.
Which is weird.
I think it's because powerful women activate this unconscious grief, that like a grief of who they gave up, right? Like, oh, I gave that up to be liked. So when they see you doing that, when they see powerful women doing these things that they're trained to suppress, to give up, I think that grief can just come out usually sideways as like gossip and judgment and like, oh, she's too much. She's too intimidating.
That's so true.
It's also a survival response though. Like if these powerful women get punished for speaking out, I don't want to be seen associating with them too, because then I'm going to be punished. And historically, let's just be honest, the abuse of power from men, there's that sense of fear as well.
Yeah.
So there's just all these layers of just suppressing reasons to suppress powerful women, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think it'd be really interesting if all of the women just started supporting each other, because there's more women in this country than there are men. Just a little bit more. Just saying. And I think we could do some stuff.
We can do some amazing
changes. If we just supported each other. And I'm not saying that you have to support somebody that like you disagree with.
Right.
Find a woman that you support.
Yeah.
And just see how that goes. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do here, but like,
it can't go wrong. Historically, it hasn't been wrong.
I mean, there is Kristi Noem. So that's a female.
Okay, well, she's in the pooper. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like she's been brainwashed.
I think so. But at the same time, okay, look at a person like Kristi Noem. You know, morality aside, she is a very powerful woman. She's very confident. She's very self-assured. She has a lot of self-worth, which is wonderful. And I think a lot of women are intimidated by that. I don't want to spend too much time talking about her though, because of her morality, and she's just a horrible human being.
Food for thought. Yes. And food for thought, we perceive her as having lots of self-worth, but she may not.
That's true.
Keep that in mind.
That's true.
Moving on.
Moving on. Where's that little like red button or the...
Yeah.
X. You're out. Okay.
Triple X,
dramatic. Okay, so
I love it. This is a dramatic episode.
We're so dramatic queens. I love it.
Yes.
So let's roll it all together. What do you get when women have been taught to love selflessly and that power is bad? You're constantly overriding your intuitive signals to be yourself, to be bold, to be loud and powerful. So what's the outcome?
You get what's happening in the world right now, where women, well, first of all, women are written out of history. Women are written out of stories. Women are pretty much erased or said that they're witches or bad people or anything negative, and that we need the men to keep things under control.
Yes.
So that's
also,
what I think.
You're going to wear yourself out, like Burnout City.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes.
Sorry.
Thanks for reminding me.
Well, and it's not just burnout, it's resentment towards others and maybe even emotional numbness, right? You're just going through your day to day because you're like, I'm so confused. Should I be powerful? Should I be quiet? I don't know.
Well, also that feeling that you're helpless. You can't do anything. That's exactly what this does, is it makes women feel helpless. But the reality is we're not helpless. Like, think about all the I did a Shrek movie marathon this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
It was super awesome, by the way.
We always talk about Disney. Oh wait, no, this isn't Disney. That's Pixar.
No, it's
that's DreamWorks
actually.
DreamWorks.
It's DreamWorks. But I think it was the last one, and it's where Shrek was never born because Rumpelstiltskin takes away his day of birth as his like one day. So Fiona, the queen that was locked away in a tower, or princess that was locked away in a tower, she saved her fucking self and she became a Xena warrior princess, like badass bitch. And I was like, that's right, girl. If nobody comes to save you, it's because you need to save yourself.
Yes.
That was what I took away from that.
Hell yes. I fucking love that movie. It's so great.
I know. You definitely need to watch it again because there was like bits that I forgot about that were just so good. So good.
I also love how they have so much adult humor that my kids aren't even laughing
There's
half as much as I am.
Yes. I feel like DreamWorks is a little more dirty than
best.
Disney.
Way to go, DreamWorks.
I love it. Love it.
Keep things weird.
Yes. So good.
Okay, so I know Martin Luther King Jr. Day was a few weeks ago, but he has a quote that's not as well known as his other quotes, but he has a quote that is quite fitting for this topic today. He says, "Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love." So I know this is specifically about civil rights and justice. However, I think it still rings true when talking about self-expression and self-worth.
Yeah.
It's kind of this idea of rejecting the extremes, right? Like, love doesn't mean giving up power and being passive, just as power doesn't mean denying love and being domineering. I think the goal is always to blend them. Powerful love is justice in action, and loving power is justice correcting wrongs. So essentially, standing up for yourself and others does not mean you're not loving. I did nothing wrong when I corrected that man that thought I was the interior designer. I just corrected him. I didn't hate him for his mistake. And more importantly, I didn't hate myself that I had to make him feel slightly uncomfortable in order for him to know the truth. Because sometimes you can do that, right? You can be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I'm so mean. Oh.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yep. That's the whole, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I told you the truth. I'm so sorry that the truth hurt your feelings or your ego. Like, no, we're not sorry for that.
You
we're
guys,
not sorry for that.
I used to start my emails with, sorry for adding another email to your inbox. Sorry. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, literally yesterday, she sent me a sorry for something ridiculous. And I was like, no sorries. No more sorries.
I know. We feel like we're just a problem by existing.
I know. Well, some of us.
I do. Some of us that can relate. Okay. Others that cannot relate. I'm so proud of you.
Let's all get to this level where we're not sorry for existing.
Yes. But this is exactly why I'm making the claim that I think powerful women, powerful queens who lead with love and integrity, but also know their worth. Yeah, she may be busy. She may have a busy schedule because she's probably kicking ass and doing all of the work for everyone else. But at the end of the day, she can go home knowing that she has said her piece. She doesn't have guilt or shame hanging over her. And she also isn't spending her time preemptively explaining herself to her friends and coworkers. She can rest easy knowing that she's not masking, like what we talked about last week, hiding who you are at work just to be understood. Or shit, maybe even hiding who you are at home too. Some women are afraid of their partners or want to do everything for them and their family, make sure no one's mad. And that's not okay either.
So what I feel like the big idea is women need more boundaries and we need more like self-authority. And we need to just hold ourselves accountable for speaking our own truth and not feel guilty for it.
Yes.
Easier said than done, but let's work on that. Let's make that our 2026 goals, ladies.
Right. I like that. I like that idea.
Energetic boundaries, we can help you with that. We're good at that. Learning how to put those up. But yeah, I feel like that's where we need to focus.
And if you're still struggling with those boundaries, I do have a reframe for us to think about this way. And I can't take credit for this because I really feel like this was channeled by my spirit guides as I was working on this outline yesterday. This is what came to me when I was thinking about this whole topic. Love without power creates burnout. Power without love is just domination. But integrated love, powerful love, becomes grounded, embodied leadership.
Chills. You know what? I actually had a friend that embodied that so perfectly. I want to tell you about it.
Yes, please do.
I was having a conversation with one of my friends who lives in Minneapolis and, talking about what was going on and everything. And I asked if it was okay if I shared a bit of their story, and she was so blunt in the best ways of like, honestly, I'm kind of offended you would ask that. And I was like, oh shit, immediately like trying to backtrack and like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She knew I was not coming from a place of negativity or anything, but she was just like, I just wanted to vent to a friend. And I'm like, I 100% get that. And I'm so sorry that I immediately jumped to, I need to share this, I need to get it out. And that is not what you wanted. And this was a huge reminder to me that sometimes when your family, your friends, your kids come to you with a problem, they don't want you to fix it. They just want you to listen. Absolutely. And that was like a huge reminder for me of like being powerful doesn't always mean that you can spread the word to help everybody. Sometimes being powerful is being a little soft and just holding space for your friends and your family. And that was... I thanked her a million times over for putting me in my place. And she's like, oh, I didn't mean to put you in. I'm like, no. But like, honestly, that was a great boundary. Like, it was so good. And so I've also been feeling the nudge to really lean into the softness piece, because I think there are probably more than two kinds of people, obviously. But if you think about like the two main types that we're talking about right now, like the soft feminine, and then this like female that's also really powerful, like a masculine. I think I've lived in the masculine for so long, I don't know how to soften. Ooh. And then there's the reverse of that. Yep. There's the people who have lived in the soft that they need more of the masculine. So I think you know where you are, you know where you fit. And right now we're being called to balance. And so for me, it's really hard to soften, to receive, to take a nap in the middle of the day and not feel anxious. We're in a time where we need to focus on like, where do we need more and less of so that we can be a balanced feminine queen.
Absolutely. Powerful fucking queen. Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I also have a great story about a girl who is the same way and embodies this perfectly, that powerful love. We'll call her Mel. And she is a very sweet, kind-hearted girl, never said anything bad about people. Also, like, even just tiny, tiny features, little peanut, barely like 5 feet tall.
Just keep her in your pocket.
Yeah. One of those cute little, what are those, Polly Pockets?
Yes.
But she was adorable and kind of unassuming, and people just thought, she's super nice. But there was one night that we went out with our group of girls, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, back when we had parties and went out dancing and stuff. We don't do that anymore. I don't think people do that in general anymore.
In your 20s?
Yes, in my 20s.
That was like 2 decades ago. Shit.
Stop. Anyway, one of the girls in our group, she left. And immediately after she left, everyone started gossiping. Like, oh my gosh, this and that, all about the girl that just left. Mm-hmm. Myself included. I was contributing to the gossip. And
we all did it.
Mel, without skipping a beat, she said, guys, I don't feel comfortable talking about someone who isn't here to defend herself, even if I disagree with who she is as a person.
You go, like, Mel.
Crickets.
You go, Glen Coco.
Seriously. It was the first time I utterly respected someone to my core, that despite my deep embarrassment, I was like, wow.
She just called you all out.
Yes. Yes. Even with like from 4 feet off the ground, she's like, no.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She was standing up for herself. She was standing up for her integrity and for this other person that couldn't defend herself. And it was incredible. And it just always stuck with me as just such a fierce leader. And I also didn't see that as rude or bitchy in the moment. I just looked at her with reverence and honestly a little jealousy. I'm like, I wish I said that.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
And you know what's funny is I feel like everybody in that group, even if some of them like outwardly were like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Inwardly, they all felt what you felt of like, oh, I wish I was the one to say that.
Right. Because we probably all didn't want to say it out loud. We're just like, oh, well, they're saying it. So I got to say something. And then I'm going to be accepted. And then we're going to laugh.
All sheep. We're all sheep. It's fine.
Yeah, but she didn't. She didn't. She stood her ground. I bet she is a life path 33.
Oh,
just
fuck
yeah. Unicorns.
Or
not
a 1. Yeah.
Or a 1.
33 or a 1. Definitely.
I should go check leader and ask her.
Yes.
So since we talk about intuition all the time on this podcast, I think it is important to touch on how this affects our intuition because it definitely has an impact. You are not in any position to make quick intuitive decisions when you are already overextending yourself to others or you're in your head with worry. When you suppress your power, your intuition is also boxed in. It's taking a back seat. It's like, oop, clearly you need all this energy in your body just to enter that fight or flight mode. I'm drowning in cortisol, so catch you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you become a leader who embodies the love and power and empathy, damn girl, you will be an intuitive goddess who is unstoppable.
Yeah, because you're literally living in alignment at that point.
Yes.
So it's so easy because you become the rod that like can, what's that? A lightning rod to get all the.
That's right.
Okay.
A conductor?
Yeah, there it is. Something like that. I just feel like it's easier for you to receive your intuitive hits too when you're in alignment. And that's why when people are like, oh, I'm not intuitive or we don't all have these psychic abilities. It's just because we have fried our nervous system. Yeah. We have suppressed our feelings. We have suppressed our sense of self and we are not aligned. So yeah, there's no way that our intuition, that we can hear it.
Nope. We need to be that powerful queen.
Okay. So if you have been a longtime listener, you might have heard when I went to Colorado, I was really guided by this queen chess piece symbol.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I had done a past life regression and a queen chess piece had popped up as a symbol of something that I needed to like follow or be aware of and just move with the queen. And I had found a hotel when I was looking in Colorado where the first picture of it was their outdoor courtyard with life-size chess pieces and the big old queen chess piece was right in the middle. But it just stuck with me like this image of the queen. And then it got me thinking about the queen in chess and how the queen is the only piece that can move in any direction, but she moves with intention. She only moves when she needs to. And it's like the silent assassin and everyone's like watching the king while the queen is doing some fucking work over here. And just like, it always made me feel like I need to just move with intention. Don't move scattered all the time, even though I can move in every single direction. The ADHD is like, let's run circles. But that's also how you drain your energy. And I think part of this year for me, I mean, as we're recording this, it's January 20th. So we are still in the year of the snake and shedding all these things that no longer serve us. And I know for a fact that one of mine is doing things constantly. I have to be moving constantly. And so I'm stepping into this new era where I do soften. And to me, softening is asking myself, like, do I need to make that move right now? Or can I wait? Can I wait and be more intentional with my moves, be more intentional with my words, be more intentional about what I stand for? And I kind of fucking love it. It feels really fucking powerful. It's so good.
That's why queens aren't drained.
They're not
drained. They may
drained.
be drained in other ways, but they are they're saving their energy for when it really matters.
Yeah.
And I love that you made this analogy. It's so beautiful. Like the queen doesn't over explain herself. She doesn't over move. She just waits, watches, then acts decisively and intuitively.
It chills. I fucking love it.
Let's all be queen chess pieces.
I legitimately think that is one of my next tattoo pieces. It's going to have a queen. I'm going to have a queen chess piece somewhere on my body before I die.
Yeah. Okay, intuitive women, people pleasers. We don't need to be louder. We just need to be more intentional.
Yeah. You don't need to keep doing more. That's like it's such a good message because we feel, especially how the world is right now. It's like, what else can I do? What can I do? How can I help? What can I do? Take a breath, ground yourself, first of all, because if we are acting out of panic, we're not thinking and we're not going to be able to make the right steps that will actually cause change. We're just going to make scattered steps. We need to ground ourselves. We need to unify, become one big giant chess piece and move with intention.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so then let's take a look at where you are right now and individually. How can you get closer to that queen chess piece energy? I love that. So let's ask yourself, where am I withholding my power and leaking my energy in the name of being accepted and loving? Or maybe on the flip side, where am I exerting control without compassion? That can happen too.
Yep. You're speaking to people like me now.
Okay.
Control freaks. Hey.
And because I love your analogy, Heidi, with the chess piece, here's another question. What can you do this week to move like the queen? Fewer moves, more intention, save your energy. What can you do? I think mine is going to be to stop running through worst case scenarios. Yeah. A queen doesn't do that. She prepares, yes.
She prepares.
But she doesn't spiral.
She does not spiral. I feel like she would prepare by just like knowing the risks, but she doesn't have to have an answer for every little thing because she knows that when something comes up, she will have an answer for it because she doesn't have to prepare for it. She just will be like, in the moment, I will know what to do because she's grounded and she moves with fucking intention and she's tuned into her intuition.
Yes. Okay, so then what's your queen chess piece move going to be this week, Heidi?
Okay, so keeping on the theme of how I need to actually soften and do less, which is really hard for somebody with ADHD to do less. I have been just really honoring my energy. And I was telling Sissy before we started recording, we just had a new moon and I've been tracking this for months now. And it's like, when we have a full moon, I don't sleep. When we have a new moon, I sleep like crazy, like 12 hours one night. And then last night I had a regular like 7 hours and I still felt like I needed a nap today. So allowing myself to rest, I think is part of that because I am honoring my energy and I can't do my best work if I'm completely drained and just pushing through. Not saying that I need to just like nap all the time, but if I'm just feeling like I need a break, I'm also taking like 15-minute dance breaks during the day too, which I think is really fun. Moving my body because I'm also one of those people that my anger and my grief really gets stuck in my body and somatic movement is super important to me. And doing dance, whether you're turning on happy music and just like feeling the joy, because it is okay to feel joy when the world around you is in despair. It's not running away. It's not denying reality. It is giving your body a little bit of peace and respite so that you can collect yourself again and then go out in the world and move with intention. So just anybody who has felt like you can't feel joy right now, stop holding it from yourself. Like you're allowed to feel joy. I needed to say that. But you can also turn on rage music and feminine power music and all the other kinds. So leaders can take away all your power, but they can't take away your joy. And that's the one thing we have to hold on to. So whether you're dancing to some happy music and feeling joyful or your feminine rage, all that, just do what feels right.
And let me tell you, joy can spread just as fast as fear, if not faster. So like if you see these people dancing in the street, how can that not put a smile on your face? So spreading the joy, bringing joy to yourself can actually bring joy to your community. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let us know in the comments, how have you been able to find your balance between love and power? What helps you lean more into that power so that you can have more energy for your intuition to come through? Or what helps you lean more into the love that you need to show?
Yeah,
We're
let's start a conversation. I love it.
All right, my queen, what is your tarot for the week?
All right, queens, what do we need to know? What do we need to focus on? Woo! That one hit my mic. It flew up so high.
I saw that.
Oh, look, it's the beetle adaptation. We need to adapt, right? Obviously, this is exactly what we've been talking about, is we do need to adapt and adjust our balance to either be softer and receive more or to be a little more stronger and have more boundaries. So adapt where you see fit.
Or maybe we've been over adapting and we need to stop because
that's true too.
Stand in our power.
All of it is true.
All of it.
Take that interpretation as it lands.
All right. Well, don't forget to let us know in the comments what you're doing. We'd love to hear it. And until next time, it's your move, sis.
Make it count. Bye.
Bye. It's fine. It's fine.
It's perfect. Continue.
Perfect. For fuck's sake, Elise. Fucking. Okay.